Man, hello. It's Ed Parcaut. I'm here with Francisco Ruvalcaba, and it must be Thursday. How's it going?
Thursday. Good. How are you doing?
Good. You ready for the weekend?
Yeah. No, yeah.
What are you going out of town?
Um,
Don't say anything just because then people will know you're going out of town. They might have go to your
right.
place and steal everything.
No, just work.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Nothing new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to help people out,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just been one of those weeks. Everybody's been hounding me about, because I talked about the loan level price adjustments the Biden administration did last Friday on the radio, because I filled in for Mike Douglas on Friday. And so for 2 hours from 3 to 5, I talked about it for 2 hours. Talk about tough, talking about the same thing for 2 hours.
Do good though, no?
Yeah, it's been a bunch of people calling. And then I had some people call me on Saturday trying to understand, what does it mean? It just means it's going to cost more for you to get your the same rate.
Yeah. And even, moving forward, it's just kind of like, we just hope it doesn't open a can of worms, right? Where just more of these kinds of things will keep happening.
No, it's already there. I don't know how many more things they can do, but let's move on.
Yeah. But leading on to good stuff, though.
What's good stuff? What do you want to talk about today? What's the good stuff?
Good stuff is that there's a lot out there, a lot of options that are coming out. And it seems like week by week, we're just seeing more and more listings. It seems like sellers are liking what's happening on the market. They're seeing the houses are no longer sitting and that there's multiple offers, crazy multiple offers too. But there are still opportunities to, still capitalize. And whether you just want a cheaper price or if you want closing cost credits, whatever it is that's going to help you be in a better position, those opportunities are still there.
Right. And it depends on the opportunity, meaning that your agent will help you figure out if it's the right opportunity to actually ask for closing costs, because sometimes it doesn't make sense to ask for closing costs, right? Yeah. Because there's multiple offers on it. Why would you want to ask for closing costs? Or tell me I'm wrong.
Well, that does apply 100%, just because every house is a different case. I mean, sometimes you're going to see a house that you don't understand why it's got all those offers, and there's going to be some other ones that are sitting, and some, like, for example, I was telling you about one that was listed at 475, and we'll see how it goes, but we're gonna try to see if maybe we can get it.
Someone might be searching
right?
it. Yeah.
I don't see no address. I don't even see where.
Don't even stop there. Everybody's gonna be searching 475.
Right, breaking through all of them. But
yeah, because he's gonna write it. I'm gonna write one now.
No, but it's like good opportunities to just try things, and the worst that can happen is no. But at the same time, like, what we're trying to say as well is, depending on the case, don't lose out on the house for a few thousand.
Right, because there's going to be no other time in history that it's going to be as good as it is now.
Right.
Yeah, you have opportunity now that you're not going to have down the road. So try to get into now, and we can always work with some closing costs or buy the rate down, see what we can do for that. I mean, the builders in other places are doing really well because they take 10 grand and put it towards the guys and buy their rate down, or 20 grand and buy their rate down, which they can't do on a regular house, right? You can do a little bit, but that's why builders are doing really well again. That's how they're getting through all that issues with rates.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a halt, but they picked right back up.
Of course, because no one knew what was going to happen. So
yeah, and I think now that they're also longer out, it's a lot of optimism as well, with a lot of builders, because they understand that there's obviously a build time right now and people are excited with the pricing, and then the rates seem like they're only going to be getting better. So for a lot of people,
we hope.
Right.
You never know.
Keep hoping.
You never know, because I mean, I still think in May we're going to see some inflation that we weren't expecting. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm hoping, nonetheless, though, as long as things stay relatively close to where they are right now, like, I feel it's been a healthy market.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely been a lot of, it's pretty a level playing field, I would say, where, for buyers, you still have, like I said, those opportunities. You can even, be submitting an offer on a house where you're competing against crazy offers, but maybe them understanding that, hey, maybe it's going to be a family or something like that, like those kind of feel good offers of people like wanting their homes to go to people like not just an investor to get the most out of it.
Right.
those opportunities are around too. And it is, and I hope it doesn't get crazy to the point of where, like we're saying, that these opportunities are going to be completely gone, but we just don't have enough inventory to be sure to say that, it won't happen.
It won't happen. Well, see, here for me, I want the rates to go lower, but I don't want them to go too low. Because think about what that shared appreciation program for some, that's what they're calling it now, because it's not for all. For some, increase the amount of people out looking for homes, right? 20 more offers, 15 more offers on property. Can you imagine if rates dropped 1% or 1.5%, almost 2%, that kind of thing happened? It's going to be crazy like that. There's just not enough inventory. And I don't mind rates being here and so many people affording right now, and then rates can, as those people get rates improve a little bit more, then some other people come out. We can't handle it all at one time with the limited amount of houses on the market. It's just going to cause the values to go up so much faster.
Right.
No, as a homeowner, I like that, but I don't want, because somebody asked me, how do people afford the house values these days? Because they went up so much slower in the past, like, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
They didn't go up in 80s. They didn't go up like this. Well, a $50,000 house could double in value. You could go up 20% and it went up $20,000.
Yeah. Well, and we're I like my duplex that I bought, I got it for like around like 620-ish. And I put in, some money into fixing up the other side. Honestly, I feel like right now, and I just closed in September, I feel like I'm probably close to hitting like around 700 in value. And
I know nobody's baby's ugly. So that means that everybody thinks their house is worth way more than it is.
No,
even agents are the worst.
Well, and I mean, honestly, though, considering the type of property and stuff, and that's what I tell people is whenever you can buy, you should buy, because we don't know when that's going to happen. When the, the inventory has just shaved off as much as it did. And again, we're starting to see more people. Once again, a lot of people became accidental landlords.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now that we're getting closer to a suitable rate that like someone's having to give up their house for, because at the same time, I feel like just how a lot of people, are really happy with the low rate that they got. They're really happy with the rate, but not everybody's really happy with the house that they got, because during that time, it was hectic. You were getting whatever you could, it's
Right.
whatever was available, and it was roof over your head. That's it. But some people really settled, and I think
you think they're questioning their purchase now,
right? Not that they're questioning, again, not that they're 100% happy with the rate, and they understand that it's something that they won't be able to achieve again, which is why
I just mean the house. They're not happy with the house.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people just settled for whatever location, whatever was available that they could get into. And, as long as it wasn't 50,000 over, as long as it was like 20,000 over, they were like, okay, that's cool. But you know what I mean? Like during that time, a lot of people, I feel, settled. I mean, I have a lot of clients who, at the end of the day, when I was helping them out during that time, I was very straightforward. And I said, look, I believe you're overpaying. All that matters is that you're happy with the house and that you're content with it. And a lot of them were okay, but there were some that they were like, I'd rather do this though than pay rent. So, now that if we get a lot closer to, this 2.5 or 3, even if it's 4.5 or 5, we're going to see people start to list their houses again.
Right. And that's what I said. Until we get rates in that people have such low rates, it makes no sense. 1% different in rate is not a big deal. 1.5 is not a big deal, right? That's a couple $100. Oh, I can do that. No big deal. But when it's 4% difference in rate, that's a totally different world.
Yeah. It's a world of difference, actually, for a lot
it's
of
your
people.
Back to your bizarre world.
Yeah. And
everything's up is down and sideways is the other side.
Like we were just talking about. Yeah.
That's on Tuesday.
It's like, yeah. And as we progress, it's just interesting because we have so many projections and so many ideas, right, of what's going to happen. But people sometimes forget about those little factors, right? Like, for example, like I said, just the fact that so many people settled. And I think once we start to see a drop, we're going to just see it's going to be crazy. I think summer is going to be crazy leading into like fall and everything. Winter, I mean, by nature always slows down. However, this winter I feel will be different.
Yeah, but I mean, for a long time, it's usually June, July, and August were the busiest, right? That's it's a horseshoe where those are the busiest months. July being at the top, and you have June on each side going down like a horseshoe. But it's gotten to a point where people do stuff all the time now because it doesn't matter if you're moving school districts or this or that, and because a lot of people keep their kid in the same school district and move to a different area, and they just do a transfer.
Yeah. People have found ways to, go around everything. I mean, a lot of people are homeschooling too, so it's like it's different times. And, because it's funny, like my broker actually, him and I were kind of going back and forth on what we thought was going to happen, and he feels that in the summer it'll actually slow down.
It's already slow.
Right. So
He thinks more people go on vacation.
well, just because of statistically, right? Like statistically, summer, yes, people are vacationing or whatever it may be,
I can
but
see
it's
that
more towards
June.
the end of summer, right?
Yeah, I can see June maybe slow down.
Yeah, and that's where I told him. I mean, I think it's going to get really busy, and that's why
I think it depends on the rates.
Yeah,
if we stay here, it's going to be steady. If they drop, it's going to get busier. And I think it's getting it to a point where because there's people moving back from other states now, right?
Mhm.
They're like, I want to be close to my family. My kids just had a grandchild. I want to be next to them. I'm tired. I don't want to be this far away. And that's what we're seeing there. But the question is, where are they going to move to when they come back? We don't have enough inventory.
Right.
I guess. Go ahead.
No, I have a question for you. What do you think is like necessary for us to see, it pick up like crazy? Like half a percentage, 1%?
I'd say another 1%.
So like around
No.
5.
Yeah, well, because technically FHA, depending on the buy down and stuff like that, you're close in the high fives. So I talked about this earlier this week where a lot of people, we should be lower rates right now, right? The way it's set up, we should be much lower rates because of what's going on. There is a built-in factor right now with these rates because I think I don't know if I said it to you before, but if I originate a $500,000 loan, it really costs $510,000, right? The origination cost to pay everybody to do their job on it, to pay all that stuff. So as an investor, I buy that at 510. I got to hold that note for a couple of years to really make my money back. Well, a lot of these are going to be paid off in a year, 2 years max. I need to get that premium up front. So they're not. This is what happened during the pandemic. In the first few months of it, rates should have been so much lower, but people were worried the same thing. I just dropped my rate to this. Oh, I got it. And then 6 months from now, I'm refinancing again. Are you following me? So that's I see that rates haven't dropped as much because of the fact that people are worried that they're going to get this rate and then refinance in 6 months, 10 months, whatever it is, what could totally happen. And so, because there's a cost. Everybody doesn't think about the cost associated with getting a mortgage. Somebody pays for that.
I'm talking about the investor.
The investor, right? The mortgage-backed securities that are bought.
Yeah.
There's a servicing, Fannie and Freddie servicing, all that. There's somebody who, holding that note.
I think that's where for private money and things like that too, right? Like where
it's the same for everything. I mean, if someone's going to loan you money, private money for a place, and you're fixing it up, they're going to charge you 10%. Right? Short money is the most expensive money, period. If you're going to need it for a short period of time, you're going to pay high interest rate up front because they're not going to get any other way to get it. On a mortgage, you don't pay a ton of interest. I mean, yes, these rates are high compared to what we're used to, but historically, no, you don't. It's not that much. It's built over 30 years. They make this amount. And for years and years and years, people they were in that loan for at least 7 years to 10 years. Now that's not happening. It's a few years. And these investors are like going, I'm losing money. Would you buy a note and know you're going to lose money on it? Hell no.
No, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make business sense.
Yeah.
That's why we're not seeing it, because they should be so much lower. And I that's what's built in. And that's my opinion is what I'm seeing. But I just know there's a cost associated with it, and somebody's got to pay that cost. And if they think they're not going to keep it that long, they're going to ask for some more, a discounted premium up front.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I'm doing a loan and I get interest on, I want you to stay in that loan as long as possible.
Right. And I think that's why, like we said, earlier this week too, that the long-term rate buy downs are good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I feel like for a lot of those investors, their concern too is that they're hearing it so much. Like people talking about, we want to buy now and then refi later.
Everybody's been saying it.
Yeah.
Date, marry the price, date the rate.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's what they're hearing. That's why you're seeing FHA and conventional close. They're not as far apart as they used to be and other stuff. And so, and if you know any different out there, please reach out and tell me differently, because I don't think I know everything. I just know some things.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right.
All right. I think that's good for today. You good?
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
definitely. But everybody do get out there. Like we said, we're seeing more options. Like, before a few months ago, it was like you'd miss out on something, you'd have to wait a week or two to find something else. Now it's like weekly, or even, by the days, you miss out on something, but then something else is there. So get out there, start shopping, and wish you the best for it.
Yeah, get out there before everybody else gets out there, because as rates drop, get lower, more and more people coming out, just like that shared appreciation program did for that 10 days. Made it so crazy again. Now it's a little bit back to, hey, we can take a look at this, take time, not a lot of time, but you can. So, if you're interested in anything, have questions, you got to get pre-qualified. You got to talk to me first. Reach out to me. I'm Ed Parcaut everywhere. If you want a copy of my book, go to getedsbook.com. That's part of my website. You click on it, or just go to Amazon, type in my name, Ed Parcaut. Francisco, thank you so much for being here today. You can reach out to him. Easiest way is his phone, 209-493-2400. And he's like most of those youngsters, just text him.
I actually prefer calls. Call me, text me, anything, whatever makes it easier for you. 209-493-2400. Right. Thank you, Ed, for having me.
Anytime, and make it a great day. And thanks for being here.